Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Live channel, and in today's video I've got a bit of an important announcement, something that I'm quite happy to share, and that is that I've actually been named the best young driver in the UK, or joint best young driver in the UK, by the Institute of Advanced Motorists. Now, there's two of us that have been selected to represent the IAM in the UK in Spain, in Madrid, and really excited. Now, it might come as a bit of a shock, and I suppose a lot of you are thinking, well, how on earth do you even come into such a thing? What does it involve? So initially it was a submission through the IAM of all my driving credentials. I had to basically do a CV and a personal statement, send that off, and then if I was lucky enough, I'd then be through to the next round. So fortunately, I was chosen. I was then sent an exam to do, where I scored 49 out of 50 on the highway code, so I was pretty happy with that. And that meant then I was then invited to the UK final of the International Best Young Driver competition at the Williams Formula One team headquarters. So let's shoot over there now. So we arrived at Williams headquarters, not really knowing what we were going to be doing. We've been told that it was going to be in the esports suite, doing simulator driving, but other than that, we were pretty clueless. And after taking in the fact that we were actually at Williams, seeing the amazing buildings and all the amazing topiary of the Formula One team doing a pit stop as a hedge, we made our way in. We were met by Nigel Mansell's Red 5. For those who don't know the story of this car, then I definitely suggest Googling it because it is a very famous car. So we had an early morning briefing, and then it was straight to getting out on the track, or the virtual track, and we were then measured up for our simulators. All the simulator stuff is Fanatec. These simulators were nearly between £10,000-12,000, so they're worth a fair few quid. And we were told that we were going to be racing in the Mazda MX-5 Challenge on iRacing. We'd be racing against each other. There were 16 of us finalists, and only 2 of us could make it to Spain. Now, after being measured up, it was pretty much being allowed out onto the track for 2 hours of practice. So I went ahead straight away and tried to put in as many laps as possible. I think in the end I did around 60 laps, but we really pushed hard to try and get as much practice in as I could, getting faster each lap, ironing out mistakes, and trying to really lay down consistent fast lap times.
This is the screen you've got?
Just having a break. Just got rammed off.
It is just water.
So yeah, but these are pretty cool. It's another close-up of the steering wheel.
What is it?
It's Fanatec, which are sort of the leading people in sim racing. So you get all sorts of different steering wheels, like classic car steering wheels and everything, which is quite cool. So yeah,
they get cracking then.
Using iRacing.
You haven't got long left, so.
Or not?
No.
Hour and a half?
Half
No?
12.
Half 12, what's time now?
12?
Oh, I better get going then, right? Stop interrupting me. Now, believe it or not, this was actually pretty tiring. I think each of the laps were around 55 seconds on a track. I can't remember the track's name actually, but it was really physical and mentally draining because the Fanatec systems, they give you lots of force feedback. So you really sort of have to wrestle the car around. Nothing, of course, compared to real life racing where you've got the G-forces to contend with as well. But yeah, it was good fun. So after the practice session of 2 hours, we then went and had a fantastic buffet lunch, which was amazing. Now, I left Mrs. DL and my dad in charge of the filming, and my dad focused straight on the food cart here, as you can see, but it was really worth filming. It was mega. And we then went on an exclusive tour around the Williams Experience Centre, viewing all the Williams cars. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to film in here, so what I'll do is I'll sort of run a quick montage of the beautiful cars in there, including the 2022 car, which you'll see is absolutely massive compared to historic Formula One cars. So after the Experience Centre, it was straight back to racing. We had another 15 minutes of practice before a qualifying session and then a race. Now, my goal for practice and qualifying was just to be as quick as I could. There's quite a few crashes in the practice round with a lot of people hitting each other. So my idea was to set the fastest time I possibly could in qualifying, get ahead of the pack, qualify obviously first, and then I'd be, in theory, out of the way for the race. If I could then stay in front during the race, I would avoid any crashes, which I did. I qualified first, and then it was race time. Now, again, the objective for the race was simple: it was just stay out front, be the fastest car possible, and avoid any trouble. So I set to work straight away, pushing in fast lap times, and I watched the gap to the car behind slowly grow. It was a 20-lap race overall, and each lap were faster than the car behind, which was my main goal, really. We then started catching up on some back markers, and we started making our way through the field very carefully, just to make sure that we weren't taken out or had any undue contact. We were being scored on the safety of our driving, so if we lost control of the car or contacted anybody else, then we would definitely lose points for that. So that was taken into consideration, as well as your position in the race. So I made sure that I was exceptionally careful and made my way through the back markers. Now, once we came up towards the end of the race, I started to ease off. I really didn't want to throw anything away, and ultimately ended up winning the race 44 seconds ahead of the car, so nearly lapped them as well, and lapped most of the field. So I was really happy with that performance. And then after that, we were then allowed to enjoy the esports suite. Now, the esports suite is amazing. They've got 24 full Fanatec systems. Like I said, they're about £10,000 each. They're obscene, amazing bits of kit. You'll see they had a cinema room as well, where our friends and family who we brought on the day were allowed to sit and watch us. They also had sort of a big management room, a pit crew style wall where the judges of the competition and the experts were reviewing our driving, and they also had a massive scale electric set, which is where my dad and father-in-law spent their entire time racing each other. I don't think actually they watched anything that I did at all. So yeah, really, really cool. And they were also treated to a glimpse at all of the Williams trophies and esports trophies that were in a cabinet along the wall by the cinema. So overall, it was an amazing day, and whether I'd won or lost or hadn't been picked, I've been more than happy. But fortunately, I was picked as the best young driver, and we will be representing the UK in Spain at the Circuit del Jarama. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, just thought I'd let you guys know, because it's probably going to influence quite a bit of the content that's going to be on the channel over the next few weeks and months. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.